All right. Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I am Queen Sheba. I am live here at the federal courthouse in New York City. It has been a very, very long day. Like, it's been a long day. When I tell you there have been alley hoops, there have been bombshells dropped. You see the title of the video. Child, why has Ray J been listed, y'all, as a drug dealer to Cassie? Do you hear me? Ray J was providing drugs to Cassie. Listen, and the big question, I know it fell upon the courthouse is now we're all, well, not, I can't talk about everybody else. I'm extremely curious if Ray J is actually a snitch for the feds, allegedly. Okay, a lot came out in court today. I was shocked, honey. I took a lot of notes. I have a lot to share with you all. There's just so much happening, y'all. This is not as upfront as you think it is. When I tell you everybody's hands are dirty, I'm talking everybody's hands are dirty, in my opinion, okay? Because I'm sitting here, I'm listening to these things, I'm listening to witnesses testify under oath, right? Many of these people have been working with the feds, talking to the feds, working with the state. And that's not bad when we think about justice, because that's what we're here for, right? When you think about sex trafficking, victims of sexual assault, whatever it is, RICO charges, yeah, we want to get down to the bottom of it, but you got to be able to tell the truth. And Cassie's friend took the stand today. And when I tell you she lied, baby, when I tell you she lied through her teeth, okay? She lied. She contradicted everything she said with the feds. It got so bad, y'all. Listen, okay, let me ask you something. You remember the rumor and the story that was going around about, let me see, the girl being hung over the balcony? Y'all, y'all, that was a lie. Do you hear me? That was like, it's going to get so deep. I'm going to go live tonight. I'm going to give you a formal live, and I just may open up the live for all of you to call in and tune in. Listen, it is documented under oath that y'all, they got text messages of Cassie, her friends, y'all running the play for the money grab. I'm shocked. I'm shook it. You could not have told me that let me just say this. You could not have made me believe that Cassie was capable of that. I'm talking about time states, I mean, not timestamps, dates, locations. Say this person was there. Say he hung you over the balcony. Okay, do you think so and so? No, don't say that person. They may not help us. I'm talking about, I'm going to go first. I'm going to get mine. You go second. You get 10 million. She's going to ask for 10 million. Y'all, when it comes down to it, let me just be completely honest with you. What it's starting to look like is a lot of these people are just beautiful dope heads. You hear me? Crackheads, beautiful crackheads, beautiful. And I think what I mean by beautiful in the most beautiful way, a lot of these women are no different than some of these women that you see in your local communities that are addicted to drugs. The only difference is they get access to resources, people, places, and things that afford them a particular lifestyle. The drug use is so extensive, and it came out in the testimony that many of these girls cannot afford their lifestyle because the drugs cost so much in Hollywood. Y'all, I'm learning so much about drugs. I heard there was a drug they were using called Cocoa Puff. Now, what the hell is Cocoa Puff? But we're going to talk about it tonight. The drug habits are so extensive, so expensive that y'all, they have to start coming up with how to hit licks. And you know what a lick is. That's when you pick somebody and say, all right, go. This is what we're going to do. Here's the play. I need your help. I'm going to say this. You say he did this to you. And I'm completely shocked. And I'm disappointed in a way, right? Because the justice system, and I'm not saying, please do not misconstrue what I'm saying. I do believe some things happened to Cassie. I do believe that Diddy did some things that he should have to answer to and take full accountability and full responsibility. But at the same time, it is up to us as women and men to get in there and tell the truth. You cannot work the system. You cannot utilize or utilize the dollars that we pay as taxpayers to play in our faces, to go to the feds and lie about shit, excuse my language, and lie just to get some money. You know, and you know what behooves me is what I'm starting to see with certain people. Sometimes people will take a lie so far, they have to carry it to the finish line. And that's what it's starting to look like, y'all. It's looking real bad for these women. And I am just shocked. I'm shocked. I am shocked. Some of the things that have come out. Yeah, Ray J was providing drugs to Cassie, y'all. And I know a lot of us were under the impression that P. Diddy may have gotten Cassie hooked on drugs. Maybe not. Come to find out, maybe not. And believe it or not, the amount of drugs that Cassie and her friends were taking provided by Ray J. Listen, y'all, P. Diddy had to intervene and say, listen, stop giving her drugs. I don't like you. I don't fool with you because you keeping her pumped up on drugs. You have people, this girl that testified today, when she started out her testimony, she testified that she and Cassie were really good friends, best friends. Y'all, they still talk to this day. And I may be getting ahead of myself because I promised myself that I wasn't going to go too much into detail. But what I wanted to do was to come out the courthouse. It's been a really long day, and just kind of check in with you, and give you some highlights of what has really taken place today, and then go back later on tonight and do a more of an in-depth live for you all, right? Because I know y'all enjoy that. But listen, it's a lot going on out here. I'm shocked. I'm disappointed, and I wouldn't be shocked if a mistrial comes because of this. You have to be able to tell the truth on this stand, especially if you have been granted immunity by the government. You know, it's a lot going on. There, listen, the tape. Let's talk about the tape, the intercontinental tape. So we know that the head of security, the security team accepted a bribe from Diddy. If you haven't checked out my video, please check it out. I ran that down for you. Eric, Eddie Garcia, um, received 100K from Diddy to make that tape go away. And I went into detail, but he cut his homeboy out of the deal, right? That's why I said nobody's hands are clean. He cut his homeboy out of the deal, right? So I gave you that rundown on yesterday. So today, Frank Piacca took the stand, and he's a forensic audio and vision director. And he came in on the behalf of the state. He was retained by the state. And for those of you, let me tell you, I don't want to be offensive, but I don't want to assume that everybody understands what I'm talking about. So they bring this expert witness who specializes in audio, video, and digital assessment from a forensic viewpoint, right? And most of his book of business is about 75% from law firms. So he's worked with the Southern District of New York, the federal courthouse, the prosecution team here. He was retained by them, and they pay him 200, I believe, 295 per hour, right? His job was to take the stand today and talk about whether or not that videotape that we saw is actually a 15-minute videotape of the beating that occurred at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. So that we saw the entire tape, y'all, from start to finish, and some of you have too. But some of you are also not aware that there's a shorter version that you see. Well, we watched the entire tape, and he swore under oath that it was not altered. Listen, somebody altered that tape. Somebody altered that tape. Now, we don't know who altered the tape, but come to find out the tape was altered. I'm talking about there's a 5 minute and 55-second delay. There's 10-second delays, 5-second delays. And not only that, they don't even have the native video file, right? Remember, Diddy hired the head of security. He slid some money across the table. They accepted the bribe to make the tape go away. There is a video of the video that we saw as evidence today. So one of those security boys was dirty, because what he did is he videoed the computer screen, lied to Diddy, played like they got rid of the tape, but they really didn't get rid of the tape. So what the forensic audio and video analysts had to work with was a cell phone recording. Get out, listen, a cell phone recording. So he don't even have the actual native file. What we believe, or what I believe has happened, is the security boys did try to get rid of the tape. And maybe dumped it, right? They extracted it from the software system from the Intercontinental Hotel. But the let me tell you something about them feds. They listen. You may think you're going to throw some shit in the trash. You may think you delete, but they have the capability and the resources to get into anything, even the trash cans that y'all don't know still exist after you delete a lot of shit. So the feds was able to extract a copy of the copy. They sent it to a forensic analyst who was able to compile a different video version of it, of what it was supposed to look like. And the file was deemed corrupted, and he testified under oath. And the reason why he said it was corrupted is because you can see that there was evidence that it was exported to an external source. Y'all, this shit is so deep. Somebody tampered with that tape, and that's why I said nobody's hands are clean. I don't believe Diddy tampered with the tape because he paid to have it. I believe it was the Intercontinental Hotel. Remember, everybody's goal, keep in mind here, everybody's goal is to win, from the prosecution to the witnesses to the defense team. Everybody's goal is to win. And most times when you're dealing with a high profile case like this, wouldn't you do everything you need to do to win? Okay. So what I'm starting to believe is yesterday, Eddie Garcia lied. He lied under oath, even though he was granted immunity by the prosecution. I'm gonna get into that tonight. When I tell you that boy told a big lie, and it came out today when the forensic expert Frank Piacca came in. I'm gonna get into his testimony. Let me back up because I'm getting ahead of myself. Listen, let me tell you what else we found out yesterday, or what I took notes on, because every blogger, every content creator is different. I like to focus on the technicalities. I like to be able to trace. Y'all know how I work. I like dates. I like timestamps. Hell, I'm nosy. I'm nosy. What time? What happened? When? Where? How? Come to find out, y'all, guess who is a secret investor in some of Diddy's work, some of his businesses? Let me see what y'all are saying. Guess who? Oh, I got some super chats. Let's see who we got. Oh, thank you. Only me one kind for the 50 piece, for the $50 super chat. She says, purpose work court fund. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Pamela Wells. I don't have all my glasses, y'all. For the 20 piece, she says, enjoying the updates on the trial. Listen, guess who was a secret investor, y'all? I'm going to blow your damn mind. Let me see what y'all are saying. Let me get to my comments. I'm going to have to do better with these comments. Hold on. My phone is like, okay, we got that. Guess who's a secret investor? Under, let me read it to you. So yesterday, they had a financial expert to come in and testify. And what they were trying to so we're talking about RICO, racketeering and all of that, right? When you think about funding, did Diddy do illegal things with his money, right? So they did an organizational rundown to let you know who's in these organizations, who's running what, who has decisional power, who holds the most percentage of the stake in the enterprises, so on and so forth. Guess what came out yesterday? Hold on, let me get my notes. You're going to be shocked. Watch this. Give me 1 second. Just work with me, because I want to make sure I get this right. I know I got it right, but I want to read it. Hold on, right here, right here. Okay, here we go. Hold on, y'all. So Diddy also, he has bad boy music. He has all of that. He also has Revolt TV. It's a cable network. So they asked the CEO, his name is Derek Ferguson. He was the previous CEO at Bad Boy Entertainment. He worked for Diddy from 1998 to 2012. Don't worry about trying to remember all of this. I'm going to give you more of an in-depth rundown. So he came in as an expert to testify under oath. Had he seen Diddy do anything illegally with money? Because all of these people are saying, Diddy paid me $100K to do this. Diddy paid me this to do that. So they have to do like a financial analysis and get these people, these witnesses, to come in and say, tell us what you saw. He testified that to his knowledge, he's never seen Diddy do anything illegal and or against the law to protect the reputation of Bad Boy, to gain respect in the streets, to kind of intimidate people or anything like that. So he testified under oath. And let me just tell you this. He seems to be a very, very trustworthy man. He graduated from Harvard School of Business. He worked with Diddy for a long time. He's a man of faith. He said at one point, he felt really comfortable. They read text messages from him or asked him to elaborate on text messages that were that were mentioned in the courtroom. Hey, we see a text message where you're, telling Diddy he's been a great example for you in business. And not only that, you appreciate him for allowing you to bring your faith into the workplace, right? So as they're running through all of the projects that Diddy owns, the Combs Enterprise, Revolt TV is one. And they ask him, explain to us what Revolt TV is. He says, it's a cable network that's held by Comcast. They said, how many owners are there? He said, 5. They said, can you elaborate a little bit on Highbridge Capital Management? He says, yes, they have 2 seats on the board. Y'all, guess who those 2 seats belong to? You ready? Are you ready? JP Morgan Chase. JP Morgan Chase. And not only do they own 2 seats on the board, they own 40% of the corporation of Revolt TV, held by Comcast. When I first started covering this Diddy trial, I told you all, I said, this is way bigger than a damn freak off. If you think the United States government cares enough about some chick, and I'm not talking about Cassie, about the nasty shit that people do, and I'm not talking about the domestic violence. You think that the government, the United States government, the federal government is about to spend that amount of money to address a freak off? You must be crazy. I told you that a while back. I said, this is bigger than what we think. And let me be completely honest with you. I think Diddy pissed off some very powerful white men who are here to get their lick back. I think his ass forgot. Stay your black ass in your place. And he fucked around and found out. I'm doing my commentary the way I want to do it. I've been telling y'all that since day one. I damn near fainted in the court when I learned that JP Morgan Chase owns 40% of Revolt TV. Now, when you think about staying in your black place, did he give Young Miami a show? And then Diddy was in a heavy battle, y'all, a heavy beef with Ciroc. Because what came out yesterday under oath is that Ciroc was targeting low income communities and only pumping the alcohol in the ghetto. Only pumping the alcohol in the ghetto, and it pissed Diddy off because Diddy wanted more penetration in the market globally and equally. And the white folks didn't feel like he deserved that. They say, put that shit in the hood. Y'all think I'm lying? Listen, you hear me? So he was in this huge battle with Ciroc about market penetration. If you think about it from a street level, drug territory, you know how like in the street, if I just talk in layman's terms, you know how people can have beef with territory beefs, you know, they didn't want him to penetrate particular demographics. It was almost like we don't want you to be the face of this brand in this region. No, we will never push your items to Europe, to over here in Beverly Hills. Stay your black ass in the hood. So that came out yesterday. They were in a huge rivalry, turf. Business was booming, but it could have been even more booming for Diddy, but they did not. They did not want his presence in any other market demographic outside of low income neighborhoods. Are y'all shocked? Give me 1 second. Are y'all shocked? Let me look at my comments. Hold on. Hold on. It says show comment. Let me see something because I'm trying to see. Thank you, McLiving, for the 10 piece. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hold on, y'all. I can't even see the comments. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can turn my screen and then see my comments. Maybe I can. Oh, can I see them now? I'm gonna have to work on this. I'll figure it out later. So that's another thing I learned yesterday. Baby, it's a dog eat dog world. And I think Diddy pissed off some very important people. There was more than enough money to go around, but there's a part of the market that they did not want to share with him. And the way he said it was, let me see. Diddy clashed with Ciroc over liquor territory. He wanted more market regions. And what they were able to do is they did a demographic, they did a market analysis, right? When Diddy went into business with Ciroc, and what they saw is Ciroc had a skewed marketing strategy for Diddy. It was skewed, it was biased, and for lack of a better word, the defense said, "Are you saying they were racist?" He said, I don't want to go that far, but let's just say there was a lot of tension. There was a lot of butting of the heads about their unwillingness to expand the presence in the market. I hope this is helping you all to understand. Some of your destinations have, no, okay, I'm not worried about it. Okay, so let's continue. That Ciroc was only advertising to low income Black areas. And here's the crazy part. Some of y'all sitting at home was like, yeah, cheers, Ciroc, Ciroc. Them people don't give a damn about y'all. Them people, it's almost like some of these brands, them people, they were embarrassed. As some of y'all was drinking that liquor. They didn't want other people in different regions to even know that they were doing business and catering to this type of crowd. Y'all, it's when I tell you, you think you know, you have no idea. Let me continue. Hold on. Yeah, and the word they used was urban, but low income areas. Man, so let's continue on. Uh, Hold on, I want to talk about one more thing, and then I'm gonna get off, and then we're gonna go live a little bit later. Okay, so today we talked about the video file. What it came down to is he gave excellent testimony, but I do believe for the prosecution, right? He did a really good job because they retained him. I'm talking about the forensic video analyst. He was there to do an assessment. He said he primarily only works criminal trials. Listen, y'all better stop doing shit. Do those videos, those cell phones. They can trace everything you're doing. I'm just telling you now. Even when you think you can delete it, they can extract it. Everything is being held somewhere. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Big Brother is watching. But he did a really good job when the forensic analyst, right? But he became really combative with the defense, so much so that the judge had to get in and say, listen, when she asks you a question, you give her yes or no. You don't instruct her to rewind the video and take it back this many seconds. It's either yes or it's either no. Now, let me tell you something about the jury. I was watching the jury, and listen, I'm just giving y'all straight what happened now. As he's testifying, I'm looking at the jury. The white man in the jury was pleased with him, very pleased. He was very likable, very likable. He was an expert. And you know what I described him as? I said, the jurors seem to like him. The jurors seem to trust him. And he reminds me of the guy from Taken. You know, the guy from Taken? His name is Liam. That's who he reminded me of. Very likable, very presentable. And he was very polished for the prosecution. Now, when it was time for the defense to question him, I don't know if he was being combative because she was a woman or if he was being combative because he understood the assignment. And the assignment is, listen, hell, we the prosecution, we pay for you. You better not give them not one touchdown. So he did his job as it relates to sticking to the home team. But I felt like he was a little too combative and it put a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm not the juror, so it doesn't matter. But I could tell that the white man on the jury was very pleased with him and they consider him an expert. So he really helped the prosecution. So right now I'm gonna say prosecution one. Now let's get into the defense. I was gonna say prosecution two, because the prosecution had a direct questioning for Cassie's friend, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say her name, and because I'm not sure, I'm not going to say her name, okay? Now, I will say this, and I told you I wasn't going to give y'all too much detail, but hell, forget it. Let's go ahead and talk. Diddy has a specific kind of woman that he likes, and I told y'all that a couple of days ago, right? Petite, da 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 da. Primarily Asian and kind of stumpy dumpy, where they kind of walk like this, kind of stumpy, where they're beautiful women, but they're kind of tomboyish. I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna go into a little bit of detail because Cassie's friend came in, and immediately, at first, I thought, "Is that Jane Doe?" I know you lied. That cannot be Jane Doe. Come to find out, it's not Jane Doe. It's a friend of Cassie, and really, I don't know if I really want to call her a friend. 'Cause she was more like a drug dealer that Cassie paid to hang around, and she would hand off the money to Ray J, and Ray J would provide the drugs. And Ray J, they say you a snitch. They say you an informant, but that's allegedly. Listen, Ray J out here. I said, no wonder why his ass be acting like that. Ray J NZ with the feds, and we're gonna talk about that tonight. Ray J, your name came up, baby. And the feds got you listed as a drug dealer. And my thing is this, right? I strongly believe, Ray J, you very well could be working with the feds because drug dealing is against the law. And how come you haven't been apprehended or taken to jail? Are you a plant and are you a mole? Are you out here snitching on these men, Ray J? And selling these women these drugs, get them high and hooked and finding out everything that everybody got going on. That's it. That's all. That's all I'm going to say right now. That's all I'm going to say right now. I'm going to say that for later. But Ray J was mentioned as a drug dealer. And it's in the federal transcribe that Cassie's friend told the feds that when she gets the money, she goes to get the drugs from Ray J. That's it. That's it. That's all. Now, what we going to get into? Hold on, give me 1 second. So the girl takes the stand, right? Horrible job. So I was gonna say prosecution was doing good when they, questioned her today. And I really believed her. I thought Diddy abused her. I thought he hung her over the balcony just like y'all did. Y'all come to find out that shit is all a lie. It's a lie that they corroborated. Y'all, it's a group of women. They had a text going on. They got the text message threads of them. Ugh, it is so disappointing, Cassie, for me to know that you were involved in that. And not only that, her and Cassie are still friends. Typically, you would say, oh, that's not a problem. Yes, it is a problem because now it makes me question if Cassie is still doing drugs because that girl is clearly a dope fiend and a drug dealer sometimes when she don't get high off of her own supply. That makes me question. Her and Cassie just talked as recently as 2 weeks ago. She knew Cassie was filing her lawsuit against Diddy. Cassie let her read the whole lawsuit. When I tell you them feds can get in your phone, you know how sometimes you say, man, I was just watching a commercial, or I was in the store and I said Butterfinger. And all of a sudden a Butterfinger pops up on your television screen. Listen, or sometimes your phone just starts recording itself or take this random picture. Yeah, they all up in there. Okay. So they got their text messages. They have those text messages between her and Cassie of them plotting this out. And I'm just keeping it honest with you. I'm telling you everything that was read out loud today. And I'm very disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Because these are beautiful liars. These are beautiful. And I'm not saying that what we saw in that tape did not happen. Yes, that happened. And then some. Yes, all of that happened. But at the same time, nobody's hands is clean in this because at the end of the day, in my opinion, the goal should be justice. And if it's justice that you're after, because they asked her, why did you file a civil suit against Diddy? Because before she filed a civil suit, she sent a demand letter asking for $10 million. And she lied she said Diddy grabbed her breast. She said he sexually assaulted her. All of that is a lie. It never happened. She said he hung her over the railing, over the balcony. I believed it when I first heard it. And then with the feds, she said that's not what happened. What I meant was my foot touched the railing on the balcony, and then my foot came down, and then my foot went back up. Girl, you finna send this man to prison over a lie. She sent 2 demand letters to Diddy asking for $10 million. The first time she did it, it was her, Cassie, and some other people, and I have all of their names, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to release the names, so I'm not gonna say it. They had a list of people that were gonna. Her and Cassie came up with a story that they had a list of names. They came up, I think it's 4 or 5 names that was gonna corroborate the story. But instead of her going to the police, Cassie talked her into getting an attorney. I have the name of the attorney. The attorney sent a demand letter with Diddy, to Diddy, even went with her to her appointment to talk to the feds, lied, because he was going to get 33% of that. After he couldn't get her the money, she got rid of him and got another attorney. Keep that in mind, okay? So prior to the defense cross-examining her, I was like, yeah, Diddy's about to be nailed to the cross. By the time the defense got done with her and exposed her lies, that's why it's so important to sit down and listen to all sides, especially if you're a woman, because our first instinct is to believe other women. And it pisses me off that women out here will take advantage of the system and really take the spotlight away from real victims because you decide you need to find some money to fuel your drug habits and keep up this fictitious lifestyle that you out here pussy popping for in Los Angeles. I said what I said because that's what it comes down to. So she lied about being essayed on the balcony. Y'all, she lied about so much. And at this point, I've counted 3 liars. The security guard, he didn't lie too much, but okay, I'm gonna tell you what he lied about. I'm gonna tell y'all what he, under oath, when you have immunity, you have to tell the truth or you can be prosecuted. The security guard lied about something. I'm gonna talk about that tonight. Cassie's friend straight up lied. She straight up lied. And then Mia lied, in my opinion. And I'm just shocked that some women, can actually sit there and look you in your eye and say he hurt me when he did. I'm shocked at those text messages. That scares me. That kind of behavior scares me. We talk about Me Too and protecting women, but we also have to be fair and open and say, listen, and I'm not talking about Diddy per se. I'm talking about men and women. There are a lot of men that are innocent. If they hadn't, I don't know how the feds did not say how they got, not the feds, not the feds. The defense did not say how they got their text messages. Had I not heard those text messages, I would have never thought that they were lying. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not saying Cassie's lying, but I'm also saying she's not innocent. She's helping her friends to lie. They got together, and what this case is giving is let's go get that money. It's giving scam likely. Did some horrible things happen? Absolutely. I believe that. But I believe these girls participate in a particular lifestyle and they are willing. Some of them, I'm not naming Cassie because I know some of y'all can be very sensitive to what's coming out in these testimonies. I know some of you can be very sensitive and you have your minds made up no matter what is fact, what is fiction. I'm sitting in there. I'm telling you I'm shocked and I'm trying to keep my face together so I don't get kicked out of the damn courtroom. I'm coming here rah, yay for women, only to find out, girl, you done sat your behind up there on that damn stand and you lied. And not only did she lie, she busted out laughing, smiling on the witness stand and said, I don't remember. Do you remember lying to the feds? I don't remember. Girl, she just met with the feds yesterday, y'all. No, today she met with the feds. They say, so you can't remember any of the lies you told the feds? I don't remember. Nope, I don't remember. Do you remember meeting with the feds on 6-4 2025? She's like, when? They say, today, ma'am. You just met with the feds today. Oh, I don't remember. Y'all, that's the kind of behavior that pisses me off. Girl, you got me all the way here in New York. You got all of these people rallying because you need some money. They also caught her in a lie. She told the feds that Diddy hung her over the balcony. Y'all watch this. Diddy hung her over the balcony. She was able to crawl and pull herself up. Y'all think I'm lying? I swear to God. This is this is what she told the feds. He hung her over the balcony, but somehow she was able to crawl and use her strength and pull herself up. To God be the glory. And then he hung her back over again. Y'all, that was a lie. When I tell you I am shocked at the lengths some individuals would go, that was a lie. That was a lie. And the girl busted out laughing and smiling and said, I don't remember. They said, you don't remember you told the feds you managed to find your strength and pull yourself up. I don't remember saying that. Do you remember telling the feds that you had bruised ribs? Watch this. Hold on. Let me find it. Lie. Okay. Do you remember telling the feds that you had bruised ribs, a spinal injury, a dislocated jaw? You remember you told them that? She said, yeah. Okay. I'm like, okay. Only to later admit that you lied and your jaw is really toe up from the flow up because you do drugs. So I guess when you do drugs, your jaw get the moving and shit. Y'all, I'm finna go. I'm not finna play with y'all. Her jaw moving because she do too much drugs. Her spinal injury is because of Valium. I guess what Valium has this impact on your spinal cord, and her spinal pain or whatever it is, it's because of the Valium. And then not only that, her and her attorney added a little razzle dazzle guacamole on the Chipotle and said, let's just tell them your head and let's add your neck and your back. Let's go ahead and throw in a little neck and back and see what we can get for that. Then they added the head, the neck. Y'all, dope heads. I'm making light, but I'm making it entertaining. I was so pissed off. That girl lied. Let me tell you what kind of drugs they were doing. I wrote all these drugs down. I'm gonna come back tonight. Hold on. So let me tell you also something happened. They jammed her behind up so good. They say, can you tell us? We want you to run down the list of drug dealers that you gave to the feds. Y'all, she froze up then. She froze up then. She got so scared, she said, I don't remember. That attorney said, let me refresh your memory. Your Honor, can we admit Exhibit 10-3, blah, 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 blah. How about Ray J? She said, can you repeat the question? How about Ray J? She said, Ray J, the singer, the rapper, do you recall listing Ray J as the drug dealer that supplies the drugs to Cassie? Ma'am, who else did you list for the feds? She said, I don't remember. I don't know no names. I don't remember talking to feds about nothing. You know why? You know why? That's a dangerous game to play when we're finding out in Hollywood with these people, with these rappers. And they find out that you in there working with the feds and you out here snitching and you just talked to the feds as of today and you still friends with Rob Holiday and you still friends with music producers in the industry. No, ma'am. You can't do that. You can't do that. So she clammed up and I would have too. She said, I don't remember nothing. I don't know no drug dealers. Baby, they start running it down. But watch this. Let me tell you what kind of drugs they was doing, y'all. Weed, edibles, coke, ketamine, ecstasy, Molly, a drug called G, acid, Cocoa Puffs. Hold on. Acid, Cocoa Puffs. Hold on. What else was they out there doing? And cocaine. Cocaine. Y'all think I'm lying. cocaine, G, ketamine, acids, cocaine. And at one point, they say she told the feds say, well, tell us about this. It was yesterday. It was yesterday. She's talking to the feds yesterday. They said, okay, you're going on the stand tomorrow. What do you remember about the balcony incident with Sean Combs holding you over the balcony? What balcony? Hold on, y'all. As of yesterday, because the prosecution, the feds have to share with the defense team what she said in the interview. She said, I don't remember being hung over no balcony. Shit, I was on Molly G and cocaine. And then today she said, no, I couldn't have been on. That's a lot of drugs. They said, ma'am, you just told them yesterday you was on Molly G and cocaine at the same time. She said, the same time? Yes. Just as of recent. She told the feds yesterday, I don't remember being hung over no balcony. And y'all, we sitting at home. If listen, thank you for your donations. Thank you for helping me get here. Because like a lot of you, I would be sitting at home believing every damn thing that's coming out of these people's mouths. Does that make sense? I would be reading and say, yeah, he hung her over the balcony. He raped her on the balcony. He did this, he did that. Come to find out, you messed up because of drugs. That's it. That's all. I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. Listen, keep. Oh, I didn't show my banner. Let me put my banner on. Hold on. There we go. Keep the cash apps coming because of your generosity and your donations. I'm able to get into the courthouse, and um, there's only 14 seats. There's only 14 seats. And so far, I've been able to hire the best of the line holders to get into the courthouse because there's so much competition to get into the courthouse that the line holders can charge whatever they want to charge. And I'm not going to say any names, but there's a really big content creator that's here. Even his line holder, we can get in line for him last night because he found a better deal. So that content creator was not able to get in the courthouse. So please keep it coming because I think I'm one of the smaller content creators that's here. And so far, we've been really lucky to get me as number 2 in line every day I've been here. I may start off as 15 or this, but I end up getting to number 2. So I'm really getting an opportunity because of all of you to hire some of the best line holders. Let's keep it up. Everything costs here. Listen. I work hard, but damn. Listen, you got to pay line holders. You want anything. And therefore, I can get in there and I can hear this testimony and really bring you the truth of the matter and what's happening in real time. Because otherwise, I have to rely on keeping my fingers crossed and hoping that I'll get into the overflow room or there's enough room for me. And I didn't come all the way down here just to do that. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Only do it if you can. Don't put yourself out. Only if you can. It goes to good use because not only does it help me, but I'm also helping men and women that are unemployed or that may not be able to gain employment because of their mental health issues. And I bring him like this morning, I tipped him. He was so happy. And some of these people have very challenged lives. So it makes me really happy to be able to hand over your donations to them and get them a hug and tell them thank you for standing in line for me. And then I have to stand an additional 2 hours before getting into the courthouse. But not only that, I'm a woman. I don't want to be out here at no 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say in New York, because it's a lot of crazy down here. It's a lot. But listen, let me see if I can work these comments. Give me 1 second because I want to answer some of your questions. Hold on. Let me go back. Comments. For some reason, live. How come I can't see my comments? Let me see, y'all. Thank you. My moderators are putting it in there. And thank you, mods. Show on stage. Thank you, mods. Show comments on stage. All right. Oh, no, we don't want to do that because I can't see. Take that off stage. I used to be able to see these comments real good. Thank you, everybody. Y'all are saying keep pushing. Let me see what else we got. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see. Simple yet stylish. That's a blessing. It is a blessing. Keep bringing the Black Queen Sheba. Now, y'all know I don't really ask y'all for nothing. I believe in working and earning my own keep. Let me come back on camera. But unfortunately, I got to be competitive out here. And like I said, I'm playing catch up with some of these. Yep, Ray J. Hold on. What'd you say? You said Ray J because he used to sell drugs to Whitney Houston. Oh yeah, he's a handler. I'm starting to believe everything I'm hearing about him. I'm starting to believe every. Listen, now Ray J, y'all know we talk our crap over here. Now that I know, see, because the amount of drugs that was being pumped, I like to be fair. Let's be honest, y'all. The amount of drugs that was being pumped into Cassie, a lot of y'all blame Diddy. It's Ray J. It's Ray J. Even I blame Diddy. I ain't gonna lie. Even I blame Diddy. It was Ray J, y'all. It's Ray J. Why, Ray J? Why you pumping all these drugs into these women in Hollywood? And now you got me asking. The big question is, did you OD Whitney Houston allegedly? That's a question. That's a question, homeboy. Your name just the amount of drugs that you was pumping into that girl was insane. Ray J. I named it off. Let me name it again. Ray J. Cocoa Puffs, weed, edibles, coke, ketamine, ecstasy, Molly, G, acid. Y'all, who fucking does acid? Psychedelic mushrooms. What's up, Ray J? Who you really working for? That's my question. And I think that's a good place to lead to in this live. Thank you all of you for tuning in from YouTube, Facebook, um, Twitter. Send your questions to me if you have them. Y'all gonna have to help me learn how to work this so I can see all the comments because I really want to engage. But for some reason, it's not letting me. Oh, okay. Because I really like to talk to y'all. Should I go live tonight or you feel like you good? I'm gonna go. You know what I'm gonna just do? Do y'all like live videos or do you like me to pre-record? Gemini, Ray J is working for the machine. Yeah, and the feds have not taken him down. So I think I believe Ray J is working with the feds too in some capacity. But I don't really think it's about the women. I think Ray J is crippling the women by getting them addicted to drugs to kind of figure out what's going on with the men. Allegedly. Let me say allegedly. And I think Ray J, your behavior has been so what's the word? What's the word? Help me out. You're sporadic all over the place. I think you know your days are numbered. We talking street. You done crossed a lot of lines. Now, if I just found out today that you working with the feds and you pumping all these drugs out here, you don't think these men been knowing it? That you a little snitch, you a little informant, allegedly? That's all I'm saying. You know your day's numbered. Yep, because your name was dropped, sir. Boom. And it scared the crap out of that girl. She didn't know that the defense would get a copy of her interviews with the feds. See, the feds dirty too, because y'all didn't have to do her like that. But you know what? We got to get to the bottom of it when we're talking justice for all. So yeah, the feds have to share that information, and they dropped that shit in the courtroom today. And I bet it has her rethinking her entire life in Hollywood. Period. Point blank. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I will talk to you all later. But let me see if I can. I'm really media assets. Let's see. I don't know how to make this comments show. Come on, StreamYard. Y'all gonna have to get better with all this. StreamYard got me. All right. All right. Bye, everybody. Feel free to send donations to the Black Queen Sheba. You can screenshot it. This is for like coffee, transportation, because I have to take Ubers in New York. One thing about New York, you could be 2 blocks. It's going to take you 18 minutes to get 2 blocks in an Uber. And I'm not walking nowhere here because I don't know my way around, period. Just, different little stuff to help with the logistics of just navigating my way around New York and all of that. But I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. Stay tuned. I'll roll out a little bit more content Y'all enjoy your Wednesday. I will probably be back a little bit later. Bye, everybody.